everybody. I am very happy to be here, and thank you, Lambda and Chinelo for selecting and mentoring us. And so I'm going to read from a story that I've written around the time leading up to the legalization of same-sex marriage. And as I was thinking about same-sex marriage, I was also thinking about this institution's emotional complications for the gay community. So this is a first-person narration, and I have a protagonist who basically lost his way, right? He's lost his moral compass, so he's going to do some heinous things in the story. So I just want to warn everybody that there is a murder and there's a zombie. And it's a work of fiction, so don't try it. Alright, here it goes. My junior one-bedroom walk-up apartment was located at the back of an old building near Penn Station. Yes, I lived near a large, ugly transportation hub and worked for the rent that was indecently exorbitant. Like most New Yorkers, I hated it, but put up with it because I told myself it was convenient and in Manhattan. That magical island of exciting yet ever elusive possibilities. It was a pre-war building with holes in the walls through which mice ran like mad in the breeding season in the spring. For some reason, they would especially stir in late afternoons. I laid helplessly in my bedroom many a day and listened to the puttering and clawing of tiny mice paws against the combustible innards of the old walls, as I mourned the inevitable departure of my own adulterous, studly husband, who would soon leave me for another man that was younger, more handsome, more dashing, more masculine, more endowed, the goddamn bloody-sized queen. More muscle, more whatever. Fill in the blank with all the gay cliches. So he picks up a guy and, they come back to the apartment. We lurch into the apartment, threw ourselves on a Turkish rug with animal patterns in the middle of my tiny, cramped living room, and immediately started making out with a hunger that was all too familiar to both of us. We kissed ravenously as we rolled and bumped into the surrounding IKEA furniture that slid easily and seemed to belong to a make-believe living room in an oversized doll's house. We stroked one another as we knocked knickknacks off the coffee table. A New York City snowball from a bygone holiday landed on the floor on its side, and the flurry of fake snow soon drowned the tip of the upside-down Empire State Building. He came quickly with a loud groan and passed out immediately. I didn't mind this, because it was perfect. I didn't have to find a way to make him stay. I dragged him to my boxy bedroom and onto my bed, took off the remaining few pieces of his preppy clothes. I relished the quiet obscenity of undressing someone else's husband, and adjusted his disheveled hair. His face looked angelic in his undercut, with a long top combed sideways, and his perfectly formed body statuesque like a demigod's. I paused for a few minutes to admire my unfolding work. I cuffed one of his hands to a thick chain that I previously wound around the pipe that ran the height of my room from the ceiling to the floor. This pipe makes its own music every night with its swooshing sound of sewage. Well, you gotta love New York City. It is doggedly unlike the romantic bullshit version of itself in the fucking Sex and the City. Anyway, I digress. I grabbed a pillow and pressed it firmly on his face. He didn't put up a fight. His hands twitched a little, and it was over. He looked perfect like a Ken doll, naked and my own forever. Now it was time for the wait. I have heard on the news and read snippets here and there recently that a strange condition was ailing some Americans in different parts of the country. People who were known to be recently dead returned to life with aggressive tendencies and a crazy hunger for flesh. They called them zombies, like in the movies. I hoped and expected that this would happen with my Ken, and it did. He woke up in about 10 minutes. His skin was now grayish-white, and his eyes were bloodshot. He first looked at me as if he knew me from somewhere, but couldn't figure out where. I watched the pupils of his fixed gaze dilate slowly, like those of a cat ready to pounce on its prey. He suddenly reached out and grabbed my arm. He was frigid and gave me goose flesh and tried to bite me. I pried my arm free, and as I rubbed it, I stared at him in exhilaration and fascination. Finally, a man who will desire you forever and never leave.